as I mentioned last time, we won't have classes today, live classes today, but that doesn't mean that we won't have any classes at all. The reason why I opted to do this, well, aside from the fact that I have something to do today, is that this is the kind of thing that's hard actually to while in class with you. That is the reason why I opted to do this on a live on an online session. Simply because ito mga itong it's hard to do this live. Lalo pa with the kind of atmosphere that we have in the classroom, So baka di natin masyado siya maintindihan. Anyway, so we go with some features of the financial calculators. I'll give you the examples. I'll give you all uh, the main things that we are uh, going to offer at least in the beginning. No? So ito, guys, this is the website, the web-based application of the FinCalc. And it's also available, of course. Ayan lang, gagamitin nyo lang to. fncalculator.com/ whatever. So just search for that. And then if you see the FN calculator, these are the same things, on the left side, these are the same things that you are seeing inside ating app, di ba? So, we have the TVM calculator, which is actually, yan ang pinakagamit na gamit sa atin lahat. This is that. Now, for those people who may have not understood me, when we were doing it, okay. So, dito tayo sa, muna tayo sa may main lang, TVM calculator. So we have there, unang-una, tingnan nyo muna, end or beginning. Now, the difference between the end and the beginning is that saan siya magka-calculate ng interest? Is it at the beginning or the end? So it's usually best to put it at the end. That's the default anyway. Even in the banker's rule, it's always calculated in the end. Now, when you say present value, this is the value of the investment, the loan today. Okay? So watch out. So because if it is not being asked, you should not have any number there. The payments is the amount of payment, the regular payments, kaya nga may S, the amount of regular payments that you are doing in order to get to the either the loan or the investments. Okay, the future value is we are calculating what will be the value of this particular investment or loan in the future. Now, the rate of interest should be annualized. No? So if it is, for example, I said 1% a month, you have to calculate that how much is that in an annual rate. If it is 1% a month, what is that annually? Okay, so yan, meron dito, compounding monthly. So yan, pwede natin gawin yan. But it has to be, the effective rate of interest, so to speak, has to be known by you, given yun supposed to be. No? And then the periods would be the number of times that you're going to pay for the loan or the number of times that you're going to be given the interest. No? Kasi dalawa to, it has the same aspect of calculation when it comes to the bond calculator. This is the one on the left side, the bond calculator on the left side. So that's also the same. It's very well. Okay, so we're back. No? So all of these things have to be given to you. No? Okay, so dalawang bagay po yan. It's either you're calculating for a loan, so you're paying for a loan, or you're paying for an investment. Yeah. So bonds, they're investment. Yung bonds on the side of the company, the corporation or the government itself, selling the bonds. These are loans on their perspective. Now, on our perspective, that's actually investment. And vice versa. Okay, so what is investment for us? Bonds, loans sa kanila. Loan natin, investment nila. Okay, so that's, I hope that's clear. Now, for example, given natin would be, what is the value, okay, what is the value of a loan that wherein you are going to pay for 1,000 monthly for 10 years. Okay, so 1,000 monthly for 10 years. So we should have there 1,000 monthly, okay, monthly for 10 years. So monthly for 10 years, that is 12 times 10. So we should have 120 periods. Now, supposed to be, as I said, the given annual rate should be given. So let's say the annual rate is given at 12% and compounded monthly because we're going to compound it monthly because we're paying monthly, right? So now you want to know what is the future value of that amount. Magkano yan in the future? In 10 years. So if you click FB, so that will be the value of 1,000 monthly payments, 12% rate, 10 years. It will be 230,000 in 10 years. Okay? Now, eto naman yung ano, so don't be confused by this. So what about if instead of me, paying for that 1,000 a month, how much is that the value of that investment? Because on my side, it's actually investing money, right? So how much is that now today's value, if we continue to pay for it for 10 years? So parang ganito, no? So in Tagalog, except for the person who can understand Tagalog. So let me speak in Tagalog for a while. So dalawang bagay, no? Ang future value talks about uh, the future of this investment moving forward. Okay? Pwede rin kasing loan yun. As I said, baka malito, you might be confused because on the side ng nagbabayad, on the side of the person depositing money every month, that is a loan. Kasi nagbabayad siya. But on the side of the person receiving it, that is an investment. Right? So, for example, meron akong utang. So, for example, I have a loan to shop, and then I told shop, okay, I'm going to pay for this 1,000 a month. Ang annual rate natin ng interest is 12%. I will pay for it for 10 years. Okay? And then here comes another person saying, okay, uh, what if instead of George paying to shop, he pays to me and I will pay for the value of that loan today. Diba? So let's say person named Sam, no? Si Dean Sam. So sabi ni Dean Sam, okay, siya, instead of George paying to you, I like to buy that loan and he pays to me. How much would that be? It cannot be 230,000 because that is the value of the future. What is the value today? So the value today, alisin natin the future value. Value today of that is 69,700. Okay? So do you understand? So the value of that, if we're going to pay for it today, is 69,750. That is the fair value. Okay? For 10 years. So sabi, ba't ang baba? Because the value of an investment paid today is surely much, much lower compared to its value in the future. Kasi 10 years in time, the interest rate, the inflation rate will make the value of the investment go lower and lower. So, if si Dinsam pays for the investment at 68,000, sabi niya, I will pay for that at 68,000. Is it a good buying proposition or not? Isipin niyo maigi, 68,000 binabayaran, it's going to be paid for 68,000. 1,000 per month, for the next 10 years. Ang sagot doon, 68,000. 68,000 is lower than 69,000. So that means, ano ibig sabihin? What does that mean? It means that on the part of the person buying the investment, which is Idin Sam, she is actually getting 1,700 pesos more than the value. So, good yun sa kanya. On the side of siya, technically speaking, it's a little bit bad kasi lugi siya ng 1,700. Pero, she can opt to receive it. Pumayag siya dun. Why? Kasi, a money on hand today is better than something that is promised for tomorrow. So, kahit pa yan 68,000, 65,000, at least I have the money now. Right? So, because, come to think of it, if I invest the money of 69,000 today, and it earns money in the stock market. So for example, looking at that, no, tandaan ninyo na lang yung value kanina. If I invest 68,000 today, okay, don't have any payments at all. And then the annual rate, for example, I earn 15% in the stock market for 20, for 10 years. For 10 years. Monthly na to, no? Hindi na siya semi-annual. Annual na yung increase niya. What is the future value of that? 275,000. Diba? Ito negative because I paid for it today. So, the value will now be 275,000. Samantala kanina, it's lesser. Did you get that? So, meaning, even if I paid for it lesser than its true value, in the future, it will amount for more value because I have the money today. So, if I, for example, open up a Shomai store with that amount, no? And then nasa harap ng bahay namin or a barbecue stand or whatever. Surely, if it stays for 10 years, it is worth more than the 200 plus 230,000 plus that it should get. So I hope you get that. So every time you get a minus sign like that, it means a cash goes out of your hand. Nagbayad ka ng cash. That is why it's negative. Alright? So yun po. I hope that is clear. So this is another problem, no? So similar to what I said kanina. So this is actually something that happened not too long ago with my wife. So siya nagbayad so she pays for the cell phone purchase of her niece, actually in the amount of 16,500 today. So siya yung nagbayad, no? She was the one who paid for the cell phone. Siyempre, we don't want naman, our relatives to just rely on that, depend on us, right? So you know that it's not for free. He's gonna pay for it, and they're able to pay for it at the rate of about 2,000 a month. So when ginignan mo to, straight computation, edi dapat 16,500 divided by 2,000. That's just a little above 8 months, right? Now, the question here is that how many months should she pay for it if I took out my credit card to pay for it at 3.5% a month? So, meaning there's an interest rate, no? I paid for it with the 3.5% interest a month. So, diba, she should be the one to carry that cost. So, we have to compute that. So, we'll first compute letter A. And then letter B says, I paid for it in cash and I charge her 12% a year. So the first problem, she does not, or in this case, in the example, ako to eh. So I do not shell out cash. I just use my credit card and charge 3.5%. So syempre, admittedly, this is going to cost my niece higher interest kasi it's credit card. So let's see how much that will cost her. Okay, so stop share muna tayo. Okay, so this is the one. No? So let's start again. So To pay for 16,500. Sorry about that, Siri. Will talk. Stop talking, Siri. Don't. 16,500 pesos worth uh, of cell phones, right? So that's the present value. Now the payment, so from the perspective of the payer, the one who loans, right? So she will pay for 2,000 pesos. That's the payment. Now the rate is, I'm using advanced calculator, okay? So the rate is, if it's 4.5, 3.5%, three and a half, sorry. So if it is 3.5% monthly, okay, so we are looking for like how many monthly periods. So monthly rin tayo dito, no? So on the compounding. So how many periods is she going to pay for this? So 16,500 present value, like, that's how much she owes, and then she's going to pay for it like 2,000 pesos, right? And then the rate of interest is 3.5%. So again, since perspective to ni payer, look at that, negative yung payment. She received this technically in the form of the phone, right? So now ang hinahanap doon is the periods, hindi future value. You don't compute for the future value because by that time the phone is already old. So that's first. And then you don't get anything in the future, right? The phone you received it already today, kaya present value 16.5, right? So the question is, how many months are you going to pay for it? So the answer is 9.9. So if you're going to pay for 2,000 monthly at 3.5% monthly, you're going to pay for almost 10 months. Kasi 9.9. So practically 10 months. 10 times 2 is 20,000. So that means the interest paid is 20 minus 16.5. So about 3,500 in 9 months. Which is not bad. I mean, knowing for a fact that you cannot afford to buy the cell phone today, right? So it's like you took out a credit card loan for that. Okay? So yun yung first, no? Letter A. Letter B, what if I pay for it in cash and then the rate of interest is 12% annually na yung rate. And then how many months is she going to pay for it? Annual na ngayon compounding, right? Even if we put it as monthly, you will see that there's not much difference. So it's 8.65, almost 9 months. Kanina 10, di ba? Almost 9 months. Now, if this is not compounded monthly but annually, you will see that it's only, well, just slight difference, 8.65, 8.63. So actually, if you round it off to a discrete number, okay, and the nearest whole number, you will get 9. So 2 times 9 is 18,000. 18,000 minus 16,500 is 1,500 of interest. 1,500 words of interest, right? So yan na ngayon ang reckoning mo. 9 months paying 2,000. Okay? So that's the question. Now, the number 2 question there in the PowerPoint that I showed to you is that what if somebody wants to pay for the loan, instead of my niece paying to me, she will be the one to do it. However, she wants to earn an amount, an interest of about 15%. Now, how many months is she going to receive the payment? So, 9 months, right? Kasi you round that off. So, ito pa rin yan, 15% annually, 9 months. And then you will receive payment of 2,000. So, this time, since you are the receiver of the payment, then this becomes positive. Remember, this is not a loan. I am buying the loan. I am buying the loan as an investment for me. Okay? So now the question is, since we know the periods, number of months, we know the rate, we want to earn 15%. What is now the present value? So I'm going to take that out and I will click PV. So anong sabi dito? 16,989.40. So that means I should pay for that investment, hindi na siya loan. Loan siya dun sa side ng umuutang, ng my niece, But on the side of me, I am investing on this amount as long as I paid for it below 16,989.40, I'm still going to earn 15% annually. Okay? So, for example, George says, okay, how about paying me 16,800 for this? O, di ba? So, can I say yes? Kasi 16,989 dapat. Now, he's paying for it for 16,800. Okay, but she'll, he or she will pay for it now. Okay? So instead of my niece paying to me, she's now going to pay to this guy. And she's going to pay for 2,000 a month until, well, 2,000 times 9 months. So, di ba? On the side of the investor, okay na yan because you lessen the amount of present value by 100. Actually, even if it is the same as this, you can actually say yes kasi 15% yun. Okay? If I actually paid for it at 16,800, okay, yan yun value. How much is the interest? We don't know, right? So we will calculate this. This is not now known. So the rate will be 18% annually. So instead of earning 15 lang, if instead you paid for it at 16,800, and then you will receive payments of 2,000 for 9 months, that is actually converted to earning about 18% a year. Gets nyo? Sana na-gets nyo. So, nalilito na kayo. Teka, ba't ganun? Bakit yung rate ang nawalan? So, we click the rate kasi that is the unknown. Hindi unknown si period because you know that she's going to pay for 9 months. Now we paid for it at 16.8. What if I paid for it at 16.7? Okay, what is the rate of interest that I'm earning? So if I click for it, it's now at 19%. Okay? Now, again, ito, bago na naman. What if I said, no, instead of 19.9318, no, gawin na nating 20%. I want to earn at 20%. How much should I pay for it? So if you want to earn at 20%, that is now the given. I cannot click on that because that is a given. What will now be the present value? The present value is 16,696.08. So that means you have to pay 16,696.08 or lower in order for me to earn 20% annually. So that is the idea of the advanced calculator in the time value of money. I hope you understood. Anyway, pwede nyo naman ulitin to. And thank you very much for listening.